Okay, my name is John Darrow. I am the interim chairman for the City of Binghamton's Commission on Architecture, Urban Design, Historic Preservation, calling the July 5th meeting to order.
All right. Thanks,
Am I-
John.
Yeah, am I still? I'm
if
still audible.
anybody's, attempting to call in, please call to speak about any of the applications on today's agenda. Please call the planning department at 607-772-7028. We're allowing commenters to speak in the order that calls are received. Unfortunately, calls can't be queued, so if you get a busy signal, please just wait a minute and then retry your call.
All calls are important. So first item, I believe we need to have an approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
Yes, yep, approval in the minutes for June 7th.
Guys, this is where you get proactive. The normal motion maker is running it. I don't think I can make motions.
A motion to approve the minutes from
We
the
have a
June
second.
meeting.
Wonderful. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Sounds unanimous. Do we need to do a roll call of who's at the meeting, Sean?
It's always helpful to do that.
Okay. John Darrow, acting interim president. Next.
Dan Neat, Commissioner.
Mike Hatchie, Caud Commissioner.
Mary Ellen Morrow, Caud Commissioner.
All right.
Got it. Thank you for being here, guys. First item on the agenda, 76 Main Street, the American Legion. And Sean, I turn it over to you for the application.
Yep, so this is an application for the installation of a new freestanding sign along the front of the property at 76 Main Street. And it's essentially going to be a replacement freestanding sign. As I presented in the staff report, we had sort of the existing signage here. And then that's going to be replaced by a new electronic messaging sign. Now, I believe this rendering is actually slightly outdated. And Joe, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, because I believe we've got Joe from Matzo Signs on, because this is depicting sort of a monochromatic EMC sign, whereas the new sign will be polychromatic, if my understanding is correct, right, Joe?
That's correct. The manufacturer has stopped making monochromatic versions of their signs.
Okay, so this will be, essentially color capable. This application also has to go before the Zoning Board of Appeals because it is an EMC sign. So that application process is sort of pending. They have not been before the ZBA at this point, but are looking for a Caud review in terms of the design of the sign.
Okay. So are the dimensions of the sign going to be the same as what is presented to us?
Yes, they will be.
Okay. Is this sign consistent with what we've been doing, the proposed sign consistent with what we've been doing in the past, Sean?
In general, it's consistent with some of the other electronic messaging signs that have been approved along Main Street. My one comment on this would be, I think that some of the other signs that have been installed recently are a little bit more sympathetic to the buildings that they're being placed in front of, whereas the sign, like style wise and design wise, doesn't really relate that well, I would say. But yeah, Caud has approved EMC signs, or just internally, I guess, message signs is the better way to put it, along Main Street for some of the churches.
The revised proposed sign, is there a great difference from what we're seeing? American Legion Post 80 logo, Binghamton, New York, and then the lower rotating imagery?
The top piece will stay the same where it says American Legion Post 80. That has not changed. It's purely the static LED sign below it that will just have the capability to showcase multiple colors as opposed to monochromatic.
My only piece of input at this time would be where the post of the sign is presented are blue, which has absolutely no bearing on the building. I mean, you have a beautiful brick building with yellow trim. Perhaps the post could be yellow to reflect some of the architectural style of the building. I'm very comfortable with the sign. Any of the other commissioners, questions, comments, comfortable, not comfortable?
I'm fairly comfortable with the sign. I mean, it looks like an American Legion sign.
Need some flags. Mike, Mary Ellen?
Yeah,
No.
I'm not sure about the blue post either. I like the similar post to what was there, or
Yeah.
something more to go with the building.
Yeah, Mike, I would agree with that as well. I mean, the sign is fine, but maybe do something a little different with the posts.
Something tie in with the pilasters of the mansion.
Although those posts are blue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they even got painted to tie in with the house, it would just be a
No, I
little
mean
more.
the posts that are there now.
Yes,
I didn't realize that. Okay.
no, they are.
But the other
bigger.
ones look bigger.
Well, it's like so the message center will be placed beneath that existing sign face, correct, Joe?
Correct. It will be beneath that internally illuminated cabinet.
Okay, so the internally illuminated cabinet is essentially blue with the yellow sign face and blue post, and then there's this black sort of mount above it. That's remaining, correct?
Looks like a clock.
That existing, they had asked for that to be removed, but if that's something that the commission would like to stay, I have no problems with that being there.
I like it. We're gonna lose that.
So you're going to use the existing
I know.
posts that are there, right?
That existing structure is going to stay. The reason that we are putting the larger, the posts aren't being any larger. It's just the aluminum post cover to kind of
Okay.
mask the mounting for the new LED board beneath it.
Okay.
We're also gonna lose that little
It makes sense
sign
now.
behind it, that the karaoke sign,
Yeah.
whatnot, that's gonna be gone, right?
Correct. That's going to be taken away as well. That they want to have it all as one.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna speak my mind here for a minute and then maybe seek a motion. I like the sign as presented. I would like to see the clock maintained on the sign, which is pre-existing and in a working fashion. I don't want just some Hulk sitting there. I want the clock to be working. I would like to see the post and the frame painted in a color to reflect the colors of the mansion. And of course, we have to acknowledge the removal of the transient sign north of the flagpole. Anybody got a question? Comments?
No.
Addition?
No,
Sean, can I make a motion?
You certainly can make a motion.
Can I make that as a motion?
Yes, you can.
I make that as my motion.
what, you don't want to repeat it?
I don't think I could. I'm sitting there laughing. I'm sorry. Like, what did I get myself into?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Passes. Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Thank you. I'll get you an updated drawing, Sean.
Thanks, Joe. All right. Oh, and Joe, just for the record, what is your last name?
Holland, HOLLAND.
Got it, Joe Holland. Okay, got it. All right. And now moving on to the second application. Again, applicant in this case is Matzo Signs. This time the property in question is 33 South Washington. This is all part of that large parcel at 31 South Washington. The building that we're looking at today, street address is 41 South Washington. I know it's a little confusing. The commission recently looked at this property for the installation of a hanging sign above the southern storefront display at 41 South Washington. Now, this is the northern storefront display that is in question today. The applicant is seeking to install a new sign which will be positioned above the building's northern commercial storefront display windows, and it's going to consist of halo lit channel letters, which are going to be printed on a panel with a background of digitally printed brick. This is the first time that the commission has sort of seen an application with like the digitally printed brick appearing as the background for halo lit channel letters. You have approved halo lit channel letters previously for other signs downtown. Sort of that, the lettering with the backlighting. But this is the first time it's ever been had the background panel being digitally printed brick. I'm sort of from a staff perspective, because the commission has not seen that previously. I think the closest thing that the commission has recently seen with sort of like a digitally printed brick is what was approved at the Kilmer Mansion recently. So if the commissioners have taken a look at those signs, that probably would give you a good idea of what that looks like. As both of those signs have been installed. I don't know how that would appear with halo lit channel letters, and I'll go to the presentation here. I think the commission should potentially consider the impact of whether or not the digitally printed brick will appear similar or substantially similar to the existing brick, how noticeable it will be, and if it's better to just be separate and distinct and maybe have a different background panel like we've seen in some of the Court Street sign applications that are similar to this one.
Yeah, when I saw that was one of my initial concerns. Is the Kilmer example is farther offset from the building. I don't know how it would look right on the face of the building. And then my second concern would be, what's the, I guess, will the light bleed through the printed part, or will that look lighter than the face of the brick, your standard brick at nighttime when it's lit?
We have a pre-existing sign on the southern end of the building, hanging sign that we approved, don't we?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Is there some consistency here with allowing the different type of signs on this type of property, or should we be looking at the same type of signage to remain consistent and aesthetically pleasing?
I don't, whether or not you want to be consistent in terms of signage for each, individual storefront in one building is up to the commission. But I would say, places across the city and in downtown have different signage depending on the storefront. So I don't think there has to be consistency between the two.
Mm-hmm. Kind of why it looks like that downtown. Comments, suggestions, anybody?
I think it's just going to be difficult to match that brick, so it doesn't look weird. Weird's a technical term, I guess.
It's a good technical term, Mike.
Yeah, that worries me when I looked at the sign and I'm thinking, I'm trying to picture how that will look.
I
Really?
can't grasp it myself. I'm sorry. I just don't have the aesthetics to see it coming.
Have they considered doing like a solid black or gray background to match the buttons on the storefront?
We have shown the customer a white background, a black background with alternating colors for the letters themselves. They had expressed interest in the brick just to have that look. And the reason it's on a panel is for a few reasons. There's a steel beam directly behind those bricks. So running all of those wires for each letter through the building would add a lot more holes to the building. And then trying to fish it over that steel beam, those windows are right there on top and bottom behind that. So it's going to be a nightmare even to get one line through that. So that was why they had wanted those that way.
Yeah, I'm not talking about changing the arrangement, more just changing the color so it's something other than that pattern brick.
Yeah, that had been their desired version, but they had seen versions white and black because I had expressed concern that the board may not want to take a chance to do a digital print on this.
Sean,
I
other
can't
than
speak
this,
to the Kilmer. I haven't seen that one myself, but this would be a photograph taken of the brick in the exact spot. Would have a matte finish on it, so it's not like it's going to be glossy print and really shining, but it will be noticeable if you really look at it.
Yeah, how thick is the sign?
It would be 3 inches, which would allow us to put our power supplies and all the wiring inside, allow for easy access for service down the road.
And will
Sean,
the width be patterned as well, or just the face, front face?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Will the like the width, the side faces be patterned as well with the brick, or just the front face?
Yeah, the entire back panel would be the brick, all the sides and front.
And I mean, do you line up the coursing?
That was my plan, was to get an exact picture, as straight on as possible, and then digitally manipulate it as I need to, measure it out exactly to match the exact size.
Yeah, I mean, from the rendering, it looks good. I'm just suspicious of what it would look in real life, and I guess we won't know until,
we'll try.
And apparently the contractor or the owner of the building, Brett Pritchard, is going to be cleaning the bricks, from my understanding. And so we're going to have to wait to do that anyway, to match the bricks exactly. But you will see the difference. I mean, it will be, stood off the building 3 inches.
Right.
So you've already got some depth to it.
Yeah. I mean, not to dominate here, but my preference would be, you wouldn't normally see brick butting out from a building like that anyways. And since you're dealing with a faux sign and then you have a faux feature, I'd rather it be something distinct that would be like a solid color that maybe reflects even just the style of the storefront more. That's my opinion.
And right now with the brick not even clean in that bottom picture, I mean, it just doesn't look right now. But once the brick is cleaned, it might. I don't know. But you're right, it shouldn't, brick doesn't usually stick out.
And there's no frame around the sign or anything like that. So there's no black frame around it or anything.
No, it would just be an aluminum panel that would have a 3-inch depth to it. That just bent back and welded and then covered with the digital print. The frame would be inside, hidden in there, so you wouldn't see any of the fasteners.
The digital brick, is this like a vinyl covering? What's the composite material?
Yes, it's a 3M vinyl with a latex ink. And,
What's the life expectancy of something like that?
the 3M vinyl gives with the UV laminate, the matte UV laminate has a 10-year life expectancy. And we've had 3M vinyl that we've been printing since 2010 at this point, and there are some that are out there that are still holding up.
Some, okay.
Some other brands do not hold up, but the 3M we've had good luck with.
Well, guys, I'm going to sit on the sideline on this. If somebody's comfortable to make a motion one way or the other.
I mean, I'd be willing to make a motion to approve just with that, you know, color that reflects the storefront. Or is that something we need to review again?
I think we need to actually physically see a rendering of it. Sean, I defer to you. That's,
Yeah, I mean, that is a pretty substantial change, so I think having that presented before the commission would be a good idea.
I mean, I just
So
like to see
opening-
this printed brick, you know, a little bit more before even attempting the backlit or putting it on a feature like this.
Does the commission have a preference as to color of the background?
I would think that the gray or the dark gray that matches the storefront that they seem to be, but I don't know, what does everyone else think?
Yeah,
I'd go with
I mean,
that.
the
I'd like to see a
temporary
rendering.
sign is set upon a black background. So I mean, that might be a good indication of like what the panel could potentially look like.
Right.
it stands out from the building at least.
So Sean, the north pilaster appears to be painted black also. When he completes his cleaning of the brick facade, is he going to be removing that black paint and going to the original brick? And we also seem to have two different shades of brick from the first floor to the rest of the structure.
Yeah,
I do not know what his plans are for the cleaning. The tenant had mentioned that was Brett Pritchard's plan. I don't know if he's brought that in front of anyone himself.
All that brick is also new, because like I mentioned, when this property came up previously, this was like heavily modified. And they removed the existing storefront displays. So I'm fairly certain that's all brand new brick
Mhm.
painted there.
on the bottom.
Yeah, and I think maybe the reason it's painted is they were testing colors, or they maybe reused some of the brick that was there previously.
Is a free hanging sign like the south side of the building unacceptable to the client?
They had very much wanted to have illuminated letters like you would see at South City at the end of this picture behind that flower pot hanging on that light pole. They have halo lit channel letters. Across the street is the Sweet Frog has front lit. On this property, the Rabideau, the People's Bank, they all have front lit channel letters. And they wanted to have that visibility.
Sean, is there another example of the brick facade sign in town that we could take a peek at or something?
For like a halo lit channel letter.
Yeah, just to kind of see how the brick blends in with the pre-existing construction or stone, or, you know, whatever the building is in the material.
I mean, there's multiple places where we have that now, sort of right at the intersection of Court and State Street.
Mhm.
There's multiple examples of it,
Okay.
both on the north and south of Court Street.
So that'd be the pizza shop on the one side and what used to be the bank on the other on the north.
Yeah, so where you had Woolworths, which then was Family Dollar there, the Grove, which is the former bank building,
Mhm.
also has the backlit letters. Those are set against the facade directly. There's no panel behind them. So you've got across the street, like Muckles has the panel behind it. Whereas the Grove does not have the panel behind it. So if you wanted to sort of compare what the two things look like, that would be a good place to look.
Okay.
And for those of you too young, Sean, to remember that bank building kitty corner from Woolworths was the old Jupiter. It's like the competitor.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it was a cool story. Feelings, anybody? I would like to physically take a look at some of the other signs. I know the location, but I don't have a good reference point in my mind as how they look. I'd also like to kind of see a sample of the brick vinyl to see what it looks. That's just me. I'm not dictating policy. I'm just a little uncomfortable.
No, I'd like to take a look at those other two.
For the client, would you guys be comfortable if I made a motion to approve what they've shown us, so long as it's not the brick paneling and it matches the storefront gray, or is that, would you prefer?
I'm not
I would have
I'm
to
not
check with
totally
them.
averse to the brick paneling, but I would kind of really like to see it before I make an opinion one way or the other. I feel like I'm shooting a little blind. You don't have a mock-up of the brick vinyl, do you?
I can print out a sample on the actual vinyl with the laminate and put it on a piece of aluminum. If you'd like to see that, I can bring that to Sean.
Yeah, I think that would help me a lot. I'm not speaking for anybody else in the commission. I would be very comfortable with that, and then maybe we could just do a special session to approve or disapprove or something. You know, I'm pretty free this month. I'm speaking for myself, no one else.
Yeah. Meet at South City Public House.
You buy it, I'm in. Hell, I'll buy my own. I'm still in.
I wouldn't mind seeing it either, because I think this is going to be something that we could see in the future. So we want to make sure we make it right.
Yeah, if this thing is beautiful and aesthetically pleasing, we're going to support it, I believe, and it would give us a nice step forward. And if for some reason it doesn't look good, we're going to save ourselves huge steps backwards going forward.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could I make a motion to table this pending a submission of the brick-faced vinyl for the commission's approval?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Sir, we're on your side. We just need a little more fine tuning here.
I understand. I will get you a sample of this, and I'll also submit versions with a black background and a gray background, just so you have those to see as well if the brick is not to your
That
liking.
would be great. Thank
Okay.
you so very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
All right, okay. And that brings us to the end of the agenda.
Okay.
Wow.
Any other business? Any questions, comments, folks? Tell Ken we missed him, me especially. And I guess I make a motion to adjourn the Caud Commission meeting of July 5th, 2022.
Ken is here, by the way. I see him.
Oh, Ken, we missed you.
Well, I came in halfway through the discussion. I didn't think I should comment. So I just
That's
kind
okay.
of listened to get some background, but appreciate
Your opinion is
you,
always valued.
appreciate you filling in.
Happy to. Okay, need a second to get out of here, guys.
Second.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Sean, let us know for the update and we'll jump on it.
I'm
All right.
disappointed I didn't have to read a thing today.
Oh, we're saving that up for the next one. We'll make up
Yeah,
for
we'll
it.
probably have 8 of them.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
Sean, I'll get that other thing back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you. And do we have a second on the motion there, John?
Mary Ellen.
Mary Ellen had it. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right.